Other comments or questions from the audience here?
I'm Dan Fusco. Bringing up the traffic issue is important. When we were measuring out, my wife and I were measuring out the streets, taking into consideration 6 feet, the 8 feet on both. I would stand outside of my car about a foot off of my car door. And basically, I was watching motorists on both sides swaying about 4 to 5 feet to accommodate me. So I was watching it happen on the other side. So there's now a pause. So you can imagine in the summertime, it's becomes completely congested. So this is a problem. It definitely is a problem. So I just want to address that because having a traffic study might be a good thing to do. Because bicyclists are going there. You're seeing people with surfboards and baby carriages and such. People just will not gravitate to that roadway. They're going to go on the street, and it's narrow. So I just want to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Other comments in the room? Any questions or comments on Zoom? Okay, I will close public comment and move on to ordinances, item 10 on the agenda. I'm going to take you through 3, I believe, introductions, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 adoptions. Thank you all for your support. For the 3 introductions, there will be no public comment, but for the 5, I think I just counted, adoptions, there will be public comment. So for bond ordinance 2025-26, this is a bond ordinance for $2 million to support our sanitary sewer system. Mr. Nowicki, did you want to make a very brief comment as to what this?
I'll try to be brief, Mayor. Thank you.
Emphasis on brief.
Yes, so we've gotten a grant, I think we applied for a grant that we qualified up through June 30th of this year, that qualifies us for technical assistance funding from New Jersey DEP to pay for planning and design of our sewer system. We applied for that grant and we have been approved for that grant. We don't have the grant in hand yet. The paperwork is in process. Part of that process is that we need to have a bond ordinance in place to receive the grant. So this $2 million will actually will be afforded to us to get the grant from DEP for technical assistance. And then we will be able to complete the design of the entirety, the remaining portion of our sewer system for the $2 million. To date, we've only done the design and completion of from Bradley Boulevard to 4th Avenue. 5th Avenue is going to go into construction this year. But the rest of the town to the north has not had the sewers in place or even designed. This money will pay for the design of the remaining portion of the system, including Ocean Avenue and Main Street. So from Ocean Avenue, Main Street, and from Fletcher Lake, Lake Terrace, all the way to Grimley will be designed underneath this particular $2 million of grant funding. So this is really, and thanks to Councilwoman Greenblatt, who had identified this funding with a Suburban Consulting and brought that to the table, and we worked collectively to put this program together with CME as well. So this has been a real great thing for the town to be able to complete the design of the sewer system at no cost to the ratepayers.
So again, no questions or comments tonight, but I will, any other comments from the council? Okay, I'll make a motion that we vote to approve the introduction of bond ordinance 2025-26 for providing funding for our sanitary sewer system.
Second.
Ms. DeNoble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Guptowski?
Yes. Next ordinance is 2025-27. amending Article 9, off-street parking. And basically, this is approving, oh, sorry, this is actually moving to prohibit front yard fences. Currently, our ordinances have the ability to have a 3-foot tall fence in the front yard. The vast majority of the town does not have front yard fences at all. And the more we consider this, the more we thought it would be in, from a cosmetic standpoint, from a functionality standpoint, be in the borough's best interest to ensure more consistency by not allowing front yard fences, 3-foot or any kind of fences or gates. So this particular ordinance introduction is striking the language that currently says you can have a front yard fence up to 3 feet. Any comments or questions?
What number you said this is? What ordinance number is this?
2025-27.
Okay.
So that means from the front of the house forward, not the porch.
You're correct. Yeah,
The front of the house structure,
yeah.
not the porch, which extends further.
yeah, this is the, you know, the fence that would run up along the right of way.
You go 4 feet on the side, right, and then it was 3 in
Right,
front.
yeah. Yeah, so this is just in the front. So I think this is a great idea. It preserves a beautiful, clean streetscape and it's a good idea.
Houses that currently have fences would be grandfathered, so that would not be an issue, but we'd like to just keep the streetscape from becoming choppy, having a fence, no fence, no fence, fence again. Anyway, I'll make a motion to approve the introduction of ordinance 2025-27 prohibiting front yard fences.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Guptezi?
Yes. Next introduction ordinance 2025-28. This basically is establishing a time frame for leaving bulk pickup out in front of your yard. You're allowed to leave bulk pickup out there, but our code enforcement officer brought to our attention that there's no time frame. So if someone were to leave it out 3 days in advance, he could not issue a warning or a summons. So he has asked us to include a time frame, and this particular introduction will introduce a time frame of no later than 5 p.m. the night before and no earlier than 5 a.m. of the morning of. So that's the goal, just to have a time frame that people can leave bulk pickups out. Any other comments or questions?
Sense?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the introduction of 2025-28, amending chapter 286 for bulk and waste collection.
Second. Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Guptezi?
Yes. Okay, for the next 5 ordinances, these are ordinance adoptions. We'll open to public comment for each of the following. Ordinance 2025-20 is an ordinance amending Article 8 of off-street parking. And in particular, this is for the first time officially approving ribbon driveways as as allowable in the borough. Currently, our ordinance reads somewhat vaguely. It doesn't prohibit ribbon driveways, but it uses language that says it can't create dust. So then you get into a debate. Does a ribbon driveway that's largely grass create dust or whatever? The belief of the council is that ribbon driveways are aesthetically pleasing, are potentially can reduce pervious coverage, and in general should be encouraged in the borough. Any comments or questions?
Very good. And it all has sprinklers as well, so they remain a lot requirement.
Yes, and yes.
Yes. Okay,
All right, I will make a motion that we introduce,
should we open it to the public first?
oh, I'm sorry, of course,
Yeah.
I just announced that.
That's okay.
Are there any comments or questions from the public?
You have to make a motion. to open.
I'll make a motion that we open this to the public.
Second. Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Guptezi?
Yes. Okay, now, are there public comments or questions? Any online? None. Okay, seeing none, I'll make a motion to close public comment and approve the approve the adoption of ordinance 2025-20.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowitzki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. Okay, next ordinance 2025-22. This refers specifically to the parking area adjacent to this building, where we are creating 2-hour parking for the public throughout that parking lot, with the exception that there's some designated employee-only parking, 8 AM to 4 PM, Monday through Friday. Beyond that 4 PM and for the rest of the parking lot, it'll be 2-hour parking for the public up until 10 PM. Any comments or questions?
I violated that today at 3:15.
That's terrible. Okay, I'll make a motion that we open this to the public for comment or question.
You're not the public.
I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second, sorry. Mr. Noble, pay attention. Okay. Mr. Noble? Yes. Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowitzki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. Any comments or questions from the public? Okay, seeing no comments or questions, make a motion to close public comment and vote to approve the adoption of ordinance 2025-22 for the for public access to 2-hour parking.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowitzki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. Bond ordinance, now this is a bond ordinance, 2025-23, appropriating $975,000 for work that we will be doing shortly on Ocean Park Avenue sewers. First of all, any comments or questions by the council? Yes, sir.
I have a question. I know this is for really bad stuff and emergency stuff, but since I had an engineer and an administrator here, are we still on the plan of, we kind of divided the town into 5 different parts and 5 phases for the sewer? Like, because we're doing fifth, and we're doing this one, then it's all emergency. Are we ever getting back to the plan?
This is our first deviation from the
Fifth
plan.
and
Let
fifth
me,
is on the plan.
let me comment on that. So because of the emergency situation at Ocean, where there have been collapses and backups, we advanced this ahead in the program overall. And that's what the purpose was. We're still prioritizing this because the fix is, but we are looking to see whether or not we can incorporate this back into the overall plan, and take this through the sewer program of the that I mentioned earlier, that we just voted on the $2 million that we're getting, and the funding through the infrastructure bank, which would be that provides loan principal forgiveness, et cetera. So this may move back into that overall program, but it's still a priority to advance.
So we're not abandoning the plan just because of a couple emergency and emergent situations?
No.
Okay, good. That's all.
So Fifth Avenue is going to construction. That was the next piece, to complete phase 2, and then we're going to do this 3 blocks as soon as possible of Ocean Park. And then we're gonna go back to and relook at prioritizing the north end of town, which streets based on DPW and the public's feedback, which ones do we have to do first that have the worst problems, so we can get those taken care of first.
Okay. No other questions or comments from the council. I'll make a motion that we open it up to the public for comment or questions.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowitzki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. Public comment or questions on this ordinance? Anything on Zoom? Okay, seeing no comment or question, I will make a motion to close the public comment and vote to approve. Sorry, is there a comment?
No, that's the
That's the
cursor.
cursor.
It's the cursor, it's on.
Gotta change that.
The cursor always gets somewhere. Okay, once again, I will make a motion to close public comment and vote to adopt bond ordinance 2025-23.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowitzki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. Okay, next on the list is ordinance 2025-24. And this is basically focusing on creating a front yard envelope that would prohibit parking of certain types of large vehicles enumerated in the ordinance. And the concern here that this is trying to address is there have been residential concerns raised over the past probably year about particularly oversized trailers, tractors, things like that being parked in people's front yards, like in the driveway, for example, in the front of the building. On personal property, usually people are allowed to park their vehicles on their property, but what we're trying to do is encourage that parking if it's an oversized, unattractively large vehicle. Good night, Ben, thank you. Encourage them to park on the rear side of the property. So any comments or questions on this ordinance adoption?
It's good. It's nice, you know, you have air and light, you don't have something huge parked next to your porch. So it's a very nice thing.
I will make a motion that we open it to the public for comment or question.
Ms.
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Greenblatt,
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki,
Yes.
Mr. Weber,
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi.
Yes. Public comment or questions on this ordinance? I see none in the room. Are there any on Zoom? I see none on Zoom, other than the mouse trying to get his voice in there. Okay, seeing no comments or questions, I'll make a motion to close public comment and approve the adoption of ordinance 2025-24.
Second. Ms. DeNoble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki,
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi.
Yes. Okay, next and last ordinance adoption is ordinance 2025-25. And this is amending chapter 5, the administration of government of the borough's revised general ordinances to provide flexibility to the borough in the hiring of patrol officers to ensure public safety. And as a reminder, we have a very definitive outline of how our police department should be constructed with, we've got a chief, and then we've got a captain, and we've got 2 lieutenants and 3 sergeants and 11 other officers. And this ordinance amendment is creating greater flexibility for the chief of police and for this governing body to decide whether or not, if we can work within our budget, whether or not we should be limited to 11 other officers, or whether we could be in a position to increase the bottom of that pyramid, again, working within our budgets. So we are proposing the change of language that would allow us greater flexibility.
Now, did we fall on putting in no fewer than 17?
Yes,
We did.
no fewer than 11 of the other.
Right.
Okay. All right, I will open this up I'll make a motion to open this up to the public.
Second. Ms. DeNoble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi.
Yes. Public comment or questions on ordinance 2025-25? Okay, seeing no questions or comments, I will make a motion to close the public discussion and to approve the adoption of ordinance 2025-25.
Second. Ms. DeNoble? Yes. Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi.
Yes. Okay, communications, this is very minor, but I haven't put this in writing because we're waiting on final feedback from attorneys, but I figure it's still worth communicating so everybody's aware of this. We, the borough, are in the process of formulating a more formal policy about how Bradley Beach, your governing body, spends taxpayer dollars, specifically as it relates to money that we, the borough, fund different volunteer organizations. So there are many volunteer organizations, commissions, committees, and so forth. 2 of them, it happens to be the 2 lake commissions, Fletcher Lake at the north and Silver Lake at the south. Historically, the borough has cut those 2 commissions a check for $3,000, and those commissions have been able to spend that money, to meet their needs. Every other organization, the Environmental Commission, the Shade Tree Commission, seniors, tourism, whatever, every other commission and committee does not just get a check. They have to go through procurement processes that are orchestrated and regulations set forward by the state. And it was brought to our attention not that long ago that we really should be consistent and have every organization follow those procurement protocols. So the 2 commissions are aware. We will formulate this in formal policy. But basically, the policy is gonna change. We won't be giving those commissions checks any longer. They will still have a $3,000 budget, but anything they want to procure, they'll procure through our processes, whatever that may be. At certain thresholds, they have to do a competitive bid and so forth. Have to purchase through state contractors, so forth. So that is the communication for the day. Any questions? Yeah.
So in terms of, the functionality of the commissions that actually share between two municipalities, when they are going through the procurement, of expenses, how do they work that out, in terms of, you know, what comes from Neptune, what comes from Bradley, what comes from Avon? Because, you know, now through the procurement process, you know, they kind of have to figure out how to split the cost of things.
Yeah, it's no different than any other procurement process where, you know, on this agenda, we have a what's it called, a shared
Shared
agreement.
service agreement.
Thank you. With, Avon, where we're saying, hey, Avon, we split 50-50. Either of those commissions will have to deal with, you know, the same issues with their other municipalities. So Sylvan Lake would be Avon, obviously Fletcher Lake would be Neptune. I've notified the mayors of both of those towns that this is our policy change. They said they were gonna have their CFOs look into it and their QPAs. They may very well agree with us, and then, you know, then we'll have to do shared service with them. If they don't agree with us, if they wanna keep writing checks independently, that's their prerogative, but to spend the money that we make in the budget, they're gonna have to go through our.
Does it complicate the process?
I think it complicates the process. I think the whole thing was set up so each town didn't individually have to do that. There can be one commission, there's public meetings, they're open to the public. They discuss and vote on everything that they spend money on. So it didn't have to come back to each individual town. I'm reading, you know, the establishment of the commission. I believe that's why it was set up. I'm not saying anybody's wrong with it, but I think there was a purpose behind this, and I think it's gonna complicate it, and
It does complicate it. Certainly subjecting something to more bureaucracy is complicated. Right? But the bureaucracy is there to protect taxpayer dollars. Our CFO and our QPA have given us the citations that require us. If other municipalities choose not to follow us, that's their prerogative. I guess, I would assume they're likely going to follow us, because one thing I've learned up there, you probably all learned, you follow the guidance of your professionals. If you don't, you put yourself at risk. So I'm choosing to follow the guidance of our professionals, and I think it makes sense. You know,
So what's interesting, the cost sharing agreements on capital improvements, we identify who the lead municipality is. And so that lead municipality manages the cash flow of those expenditures. And then they come back and bill the other municipality for that 50% cost, if that's what the agreement is.
that's exactly what this policy will say as well.
So there has to be due diligence to ensure that that's taking place.
So for Fletcher Lake, either Bradley or Neptune would be the lead municipality,
Mhm.
that all the purchases would go through that municipality. They would then bill Bradley for their 50% of that cost. So that would be the process.
So they would have to make that determination, I guess. I
And
don't
we
know.
would-
Typically, a commission, the only way you should be able to spend public money is through you. Governing body, right, on paying the bills, you guys have to. The idea of just giving money to a commission that they may be publicly, but there's no accountability. It makes more sense to do it this way. Most other towns do it this way as well. A commission really should just be an advisory request. So then they request, hey, we want to put in, lights at the lake, right? But it's this governing body that decides we're gonna have, not a commission to recommend it. But you make your decision.
well, I would say the term of art in the ordinance is regional service agency, and I don't know if that has a special meaning on the state level or anything, but I hear what you're saying, but there are plenty of examples where there's authorities and commissions and that spend public money. It doesn't all go through the governing body. I mean, you could think of 15 examples of authorities and things that do that. And
Well,
so-
I remember like the, Neptune Township Sewer Authority, right, is one of them. But they're formed, chartered under the state.
Right, and I'm
Commission
saying, and
here
this,
is just-
our ordinance is the same thing, it's a regional service agency, so if that's a term of art used by the state, it could be the same thing, I don't know. That's why I asked for people to look into this and then look into it, so I'm looking at the ordinance now. I'm just saying, that's what I think. I hope we don't run into any problems with that because of the regional service agency.
There's twofold issue here. So one is, and really, as far as I'm concerned, it's the only one that's important, and that is we need to subject this spend to these controls, the controls that the state mandates. There's a secondary issue that others have raised to me. I almost can't get to it because I'm good with the first issue. But the second issue is, what if people don't spend it? In the current world with these two entities, if they don't spend it, they get to save the public's dollars. Even though we put it in a budget saying, spend it on things you need this year. In every other organization, including the borough, including our own departments, if people don't spend the budget, it reverts back to the taxpayers via surplus. In these two entities, they take the check. If they don't spend it, they put it in their own bank account for a rainy day, for a bigger project down the road, whatever. But it's too easy, in my opinion, to lose sight of that. And again, that's not even a consideration in my mind, but I just bring it out so others are aware. That is a separate related concern. My concern is all these dollars should be spent under guidelines provided to us by the state. So anyway, that's the communication. Let's, yeah, sure.
So can a trust be established while still having access to, funds that have been appropriated? Budget?
Is the answer.
No.
We asked Greg Cannon. Greg Cannon said yes. The problem with that was the CFO and the QPA said we should not do that.
So like the Arts Council cannot establish a trust where they're doing fundraising and pulling money in that they can collect.
That, all that does is gets to the secondary issue, which is we don't want people funding forever. If the Arts Council, Sylvan Lake Commission, any commission wants to spend, maybe a better example is Sylvan Lake, Fletcher Lake. Arts Council, you can typically budget whatever your performance are in a year. But when there's a significant aerator repair, Sylvan Lake, we fund that 50-50 with Avalon. Fletcher Lake, because they've amassed a small fortune, they've been providing their own repairs. But it shouldn't work that way. None of us know who they're utilizing. Are they using, approved vendors, whatever? So we don't want, again, we just don't want the process going through anything other than our processes. And we don't want people saving the taxpayer money for a rainy day. The trust would enable them to do that.
So if any of these, commissions or councils decided to do a 501c3 or something like that, then they would be, outside of the budget that they might otherwise have been receiving.
Right.
Thank you.
I thought that was gonna be a much quicker
Yeah.
communication.
It's
No way.
okay.
Okay, resolutions, item 12 on the agenda. Consent agenda resolutions, are any of these, does anyone desire to discuss any of these separately or vote on that separately?
Nobody want to make a comment? Because we are approving outdoor licenses for outdoor cafes for 5 or 6 different places. I want to reemphasize that it is the responsibility of each of these business owners to keep the sidewalk free and clear for, like, basically ADA, sidewalk has to be wide enough for somebody with a wheelchair to go down. The tree well can't be moved, or the fire hydrant or the street sign can't be moved, so they cannot put their chairs and tables in that way. And everybody in this room, and everybody hearing my voice, and everybody that works at these businesses, we're all just one accident away from being in a wheelchair. So think about the people in wheelchairs, and let's make sure that our outdoor cafes don't impede sidewalk traffic flow. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Again, separately, okay. Then I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda resolution items 2025-254 through 2025-262.
Second. Mr. Noble? Yes. Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nulicky?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Lukatich?
Yes, individual resolutions, 2025-225. This is awarding a contract for the Fifth Avenue Sanitary Sewer Improvements Phase 1, previously tabled back in June 18, 2025. I'll make a motion that we approve 2025-225.
Second,
Ms. DeNoble?
yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. 2025-263, appointing Bryant Curry as a part-time construction official, fire protection subcode official, and fire inspector. Again, this is a part-time appointment, replacing the departure of our previous construction official.
Mr. Mayor, I'm gonna, make a motion that we table this, because I don't feel like I have enough information to vote on this. And would you allow me to make the case? Matt, I asked Matt if he interviewed this person, he said he didn't. I know Mr. Curry's in the back of the room. I feel like we hired you, Matt, to hire people and vet people that we're bringing on, into positions like this, so, since that didn't happen, I just have questions and I don't have time to answer them now, so I would ask that we table this, and if it's not, I think it's something that we can table for a couple weeks and do it at the next meeting.
And just, you can certainly make the motion. My comment would be, we don't want to, we, the borough, me, the mayor, would prefer not to work without a construction official for the next few weeks. Should we move forward with this, Mr. Curry would be a part-time construction official, as I mentioned, and we can certainly continue to look for other candidates should Mr. Curry decide to move on.
Do we not have somebody covering from other towns right now?
Right now, our, acting construction official is Ted,
Is what?
Ted Bianchi.
It's acting. Okay.
He's their zoning officer.
Is
He's
this,
our zoning officer, but he's also an acting construction official as of today.
Yeah, and he's not doing fire inspections, or
No,
Okay, so do we have somebody covering from other towns to do fire inspections?
Pam
Fire.
is doing her best to cobble together inspectors from other towns, yes.
So the bottom line is, we don't have a strong solution. Mr. Weber's, obviously raising concerns. Others feel more confident with this particular appointment. So, John, if you want to make your motion. Go ahead.
Sure, I'll make my motion that we table this to the next meeting. So, yeah, 2025-263, we table it to the next meeting. And then, what's the second? Okay.
I'll second that, John.
Okay, thanks.
Ms. DeNoble?
I'm reluctant because I know you said you need someone to do this, and I know Pam's kind of overloaded. I just saw her today. I went with a couple applications and stuff. I think it's only part-time. I mean, it's not a part-time permanent position. It's basically, it's trial, right? So I'm gonna say no. It sounds like we're in need of this person.
Ms. Greenblatt?
So I'm a little bit perplexed, that we didn't go through, I don't know what the process was that we went through, that you weren't, in a position to be able to interview.
It's a recommendation by our construction official. I forget Pam's title.
Community development. Director.
So Pam recommended.
Tanner.
Okay.
And Mr. Curry is known to many of us.
What's that?
Bryant Curry is known to a number of us, for better or for worse.
Is in what capacity?
He's had this position in the
He's
past.
worked for the borough
In, oh,
Yeah.
He's worked for Brendan.
yes.
and came recommended by Pam Valentine, who's been managing, that broader group.
So currently, the question is, to table it, so I would say, I would vote no.
Mr. Nowicki?
Based on, this additional information, I don't have a, strong opinion one way or the other, but if it's part-time and we have the opportunity to offer it, if things don't work out, we can do that. So, and I respect Pam's recommendations and, our community director, so, I'll vote no.
Mr. Weber?
Oh, yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
I'll vote no. So I'll now make a motion that we approve approve 2025-263, appointing Mr. Curry as our part-time construction official, fire protection subcode official, and fire inspector.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
I will abstain, because it's not an opposition, it is I don't have enough information. So I will abstain.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. Okay, 2025-264, amending resolution 2025-209, requesting the New Jersey Department of Transportation to reduce the speed limit on Route 71 from 30 miles per hour to 25. Most of you may remember we passed this resolution reducing the speed limit from 30 to 25, as did Avon, as did
Neptune.
Neptune Township / Ocean Grove. But the good news is DOT is paying attention to us. They submitted some alternative wording they wanted us to use, which the clerk has incorporated. Avon has also incorporated.
Avon also did.
I don't know if Neptune has.
And they didn't send me their resolution if they did, but I got Avon's, so, I can follow up with Neptune and see.
But this is basically substituting the wording we've already approved with wording recommended by the DOT.
But still effectively.
Yes, yeah, they're in favor of that, so, yeah, they good with it.
Okay.
So, any comments or questions on this one?
Right.
I'll make a motion that we approve 2025-264 using the new NJDOT language.
Second. Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. 2025-265, this is authorizing the mayor and council to execute a shared service agreement between the Borough of Bradley Beach and the elementary school. And in that shared service, Bradley Beach DPW will basically do a lot of the lawn maintenance for the elementary school. The elementary school will pay the municipality $2,000, reducing their existing cost by $2,000. Their existing cost is $4,000. So now all their work will be done for $2,000 cost, saving our taxpayers $2,000 of school costs. And because we, the borough, will receive $2,000 revenue, and we have no additional costs incurred because we're going to continue to use our DPW employees to do this work. We will also reduce taxpayer costs by $2,000, total savings to taxpayers of $4,000. And I really want to tip my hat to our DPW who said, yeah, we can take on some additional work. No need to pay us more or hire more bodies. So they're doing this because it's the right thing to do for the borough and for our taxpayers.
Can I make a comment, Mr. Mayor?
Please.
Is it really a shared service if it's in the same borough? That's interesting. I just want everybody to know, historically, our DPW always did this. Trust me, there was no resolution when it was taken away, when it was just changed, and all of a sudden, our DPW is not cutting their lawn and shoveling their snow and things like that, which we should talk about snow. So, I'll respectfully say, I'm not sure it's a savings because it always was this way. In the interim period when they were doing their own one, I think it was just an extra expense to the borough that was unnecessary that we never needed to. So I'm glad we're going back to the way it used to be, and it's saving us going forward, but never had to be like this in the first place. And that's going back a long time. But thanks for indulging me.
Yeah, and just for the record, compared to where we are right now, as we sit here, it's the same.
Don't-
But where it used to be, God only knows. Yeah, I agree with you.
And so we
Never should have gone.
I think so. Anyway, let us celebrate the $4,000 of taxpayers. You're not letting me not upset. So I will make a motion to approve 2025-265 for the shared service with the elementary school.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatosi?
Yes. 2025-266, approving a shared service agreement with the Borough of Avon by the Sea for engineering and construction services to replace the Sylvan Lake Stormwater Outlet Control Gate. We do not yet have official costs, official bonding in place, but Paul, you've really helped us develop this shared service agreement so that we have a mutual understanding that we will share the cost 50-50.
Correct, and that's, really, this is a critical piece of infrastructure for the lake, and we need to get this replaced. So we're looking for grant money, and talking to DEP about potentially, looking for funding through them as well. So hopefully we find some other money, we don't have to actually, file for it, but yes, this is critical.
Okay, so I will make a motion to approve 2025-266, approving the shared service agreement with Avon by the Sea.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenberg?
Yeah.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gurke?
Yes. Okay, what everyone heard us discuss earlier was the bond authorization for the work on Ocean Park. What many of you may not be aware of is that just over the past weekend or so, week and a half, we had some very significant emergency challenges on Ocean Park Avenue, the 200 block, Matt, 100, 200 block. And it got very ugly, and our DPW guys were out there 5, 6 a.m. in the morning. They were out there at midnight. Residents in one or two of the buildings had sewer backwash into their basements. It was ugly. Our guys were out there. One of our trucks broke down. They were sucking sand out of the sewer. It got really ugly. DPW just were heroic in their efforts to help those residents. I mean, at one point, all the residents were out of the building because they had all the sewer backwash, and they were. Biagio Capone told me they didn't have a bad word to say. They were all so appreciative of our guys being out there cleaning out the sewer and working to, give them some functionality of their sewers. So our DPW held this thing together by paper clips and glue, but they did get us through to the point that I then had to authorize an emergency spend of $15,000, and that's what this resolution is about, where the sewer chimney, I didn't know what this was. I thought we were talking about a chimney like in your living room, a fireplace. But if you open up a manhole and you look down that tube-like construct, that's called a chimney in a sewer. And our chimney on this particular location, 200 block of Ocean Park, was destroyed. Nothing was getting through it. And Biagio Capone, our director of DPW, knew a person who's worked with the borough before, who's done great work, and got a very attractive proposal, $15,000. They brought out a $400,000 piece of equipment to rip open the sewer. I mean, it was a hole as big as this table in front of me. And then they proceeded to, throw out all the old stuff, put in brand new cylinders going back down, all for $15,000. It seemed like a great deal, although I'm no expert, but it seemed like a great deal. So anyway, this is now authorizing in arrears that payment, authorizing emergency sewer chimney repair at the 200 block of Ocean Park Ave that had already occurred on July 28th. I'll make a motion to approve.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
Does this put the borough at any risk with insurance companies, or to any damages? The homeowner's policy of then, charging the borough back the insurance, because this was part of our sewer. It wasn't a lateral.
It happens all the time, unfortunately,
Yeah.
because we're a bunch of year old sewers. Not that anybody can file a claim against anybody, but not that.
I mean, when they put it through their own, maybe homeowner's insurance policy, does it then potentially charge back the source of the problem, which would be the borough?
I would have no way of answering that question.
It's a complicated question.
Okay, you have.
Very much depends on prior issue, like, for example, it is a surprise issue that just arose and this damage occurred, and the borough doesn't have any liability for that. The burden on a homeowner to prove that the borough is liable for an existing hazardous condition in which the borough had notice is very high. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very unlikely. You mentioned homeowners insurance. That's typically the first line of resort for the homeowner. And it goes down to, like a claim for a pothole or any other sort of thing that happens to the borough. So that's the rubric. I don't say it's impossible. It's very, very difficult to make that case though. I've tried to do it before, frankly, on behalf of apartment building owners up in Newark. And to even get a payout, I had to show a lot of prior complaints, notice to this departments and things like that. So for a one-off incident, there really is no liability at all.
So this is somewhat of a one-off, this problem that occurred? Because I know that there's been continuing issues of.
But any homeowner that talks to you about it, you should tell them that their first recourse is their homeowner's insurance.
and they should report it right away. Because no one's gonna leave that condition, you want the, that's the first line of recourse. And typically homeowners, if someone has, not around here, I imagine people have pretty good coverage living close to the beach. Probably will cover it, there'll be a co-insurance deductible, probably, something that kind of casualty, but they usually cover it.
It wouldn't come back to the borough. The
I
boroughs.
thought an insurance company might kind of subrogate, but if they do that, then we just send their subrogation notice to our joint insurance fund, just like we do for every other tort claim. And maybe they'll pay them, maybe they won't, it depends on the situation, the proofs, but that's ultimately, we have insurance for that ultimately, so.
And the homeowners will be doing would be cleaning their basements, right? And, I mean, what else would they be doing? They're not
Well, it would
paying
be
for
I've
it.
had this in their CERCRO, basically, they CERCRO,
Yeah.
and, depending on the damage, but basically it's the CERCRO.
Again, to the best of my knowledge, the borough did, other than we just had 100-year-old sewers, the borough did nothing that created this backlog, it just disintegrated. Obviously. So, again, anyone can file any claim anywhere, but I don't think it's any different than tomorrow you have a backup in your sewer. You'd have to make a case that the borough was responsible. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve 2025-267, authorizing the emergency sewer chimney repair.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki? Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatose?
Yes. 2025-268, authorizing invitation for bid for Ocean Park Avenue sewer replacement. This is, basically, we did not need to do this, we were told after the fact, but just, I think it's good practice, transparent, that, the public knows we are, going to ask people to bid on repairing that next stage of sewer on Ocean Park Avenue. Earlier this evening, we had bond ordinance, we're kind of moving these on parallel paths. So by the time the bond ordinance is adopted and, passes its estoppel period, we should be pretty far down the path of identifying who the contractor is that will work on the project. So I'll make any questions or comments? Make a motion that we approve 2025-268, authorizing invitation for bid for Ocean Park Ave. Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki?
Yes.
Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatose?
Yes. Okay. Resolution 2025-269 is the bill list for August 5th. I know that there have been questions either raised by the council and or by residents. Matt, our business administrator, do you have any of those questions handy, or is it something we just later? Either.
Page 8 of the bills list, Eric Bernstein, what is different now that we're being asked to authorize the fees for August, November, and December?
Good question. So if you remember, I told the mayor and council that we're gonna file fee arbitration. That was denied. So the next steps would be to simply not pay him and go to court, and probably spend more money than what we have to pay him. I agree with you, I think these bills are egregious, they're terrible, but in the interest of saving taxpayer money, just have to pay it.
Okay, okay. The other question, and I know that Mayor was trying to get some answers on this, and I had brought this up once before I was on council. So we pay quarterly, $1,860 for the SCAT bus. But I don't see anywhere on our, and this is for I guess, elderly services that the county provides.
Yes, the shuttle service.
So I guess my question was,
Disabled citizen.
to what degree is this utilized by residents? Because there's no information on our website about this. And I think it's incumbent upon us to, as, I had mentioned this, when you and I were campaigning, there was an individual who had asked about this question, and that was the reason I was looking into this. And I don't think that we've gone any further in terms of providing the community with the information of this resource. So, right now we're paying, whatever it is, 1,800 times 4 for that service.
I didn't know that until you asked the question. I followed up with Amy Hall, who works for free as providing some communications assistance to Borough, but she's not a paid employee for communications purposes. But I asked her, does she know anything about advertising on the website? The answer is, she doesn't believe we do it. The only opportunity right now, residents, if they're listening to us now, if they've heard us talk about it before, if they just call the county, if they're aware of it, they will get the service because we pay for it, but to your point, we need to do a much better job advertising it, and we're not doing that yet.
We'll do that, plus we should put it in the, newsletter as well.
Right, and I mean, do we even know if it's being utilized? Does this bus pull up to Borough Hall?
Not
Should
nice.
go to the
I don't think it's a bus anymore.
There isn't, is there anything about the senior club on the website? I mean, that, it would be a great opportunity to.
We should,
Here's the-
yeah, at the next, senior luncheon, we should provide information.
Right, and give them some space, the senior club, some, or whatever, senior services, some space on our website to, you know, provide information about what's being offered through senior programs. And then this could then be also a part of it, something that is.
Sounds good, great idea.
Okay,
Also, just, I don't believe it's a bus that makes a route anymore. It's an on-demand service like Uber. So they still have the buses, but you make like an appointment, you make an appointment like Uber now. There's like I don't know if there's an app for it or how you do it, you call in. But I don't believe it used to be a route, you used to see the scout bus driving around. That's a waste of money. They don't do that anymore with the technology we have today.
Right.
So they come pick you up, you make an appointment. I think you make it regular if you want. Oh, 100%. That's exactly how many people use it.
We should get information out of that on a quarterly basis if we're paying for it.
and it's roughly $2,419
Yeah.
or something, so $8,000 a year. I mean, if people are using it, it's a great service. If nobody's using it and nobody wants to use it,
I
We
would
should have spent
imagine
the
that, I would imagine there are people who would benefit from it in our community.
Yeah, we just need to publicize it more.
okay, I know there were other questions raised.
Mine were answered.
Yours were answered?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Then in that case, I'll make a motion that we approve 2025-269, the bill list for August 5th, 2025.
Second.
Mr. Noble?
Yes.
Ms. Greenblatt?
Yes.
Mr. Nowicki? Mr. Weber?
Yes.
Mayor Gubatose?
Yes. Okay, item 13, announcements, there are none. Item 14A, the administrator report, Mr. Doherty.
Yes, sir, I will be very brief, because we have to get the national.
Yes, we do.
There's a one thing to report. Mayor and council, very good news. First, we'd like to take an opportunity to guess, and the mayor and I have not discussed this yet. But we have beach revenue numbers through Sunday, August 4th. Anyone want to guess how much revenue we brought in this year so far?
$1 billion.
5% over?
Are you talking all batch sales, including?
All batches.
You're thinking it's up this year?
5% over where we should be.
I'm gonna say 1.2.
I don't, I'm not a guessing
Anyone
lady.
take a guess? All right, to date, $1,727,829. That is 1% above all of the fab sales in 2024.
Yeah.
So we have 4 more weeks, 4 more weekends. Everything we make now is that much more above last year.
Did I win because it was the closest to that price without?
Yes, definitely would.
Yes, I do.
Well,
So good news.
Well, kudos to.
But I guess we'll end up
Yeah.
somewhere close to $2 million.
Then I have to say kudos to Public Works. They do such a great job. The place looks great. I think that draws even more people. It's
And I will tell you, the beach manager, Sean, and Mike, the
Yes.
lifeguard manager, are doing an outstanding job, because you only have these numbers because you have so many people come. If you think about how bad the weather was in June,
You're right.
it's really been July.
Yeah.
The one thing that really stands out are the weekly beach badges. So the dailies, total number is 742,794. Season beach badges, $979,905. Weeklies, only $5,130. So there may be something to consider whether to keep weeklies going forward.
Yeah, right.
That's my entire report.
Any questions from the council?
Yeah, one question for me at least. Can you give a quick overview on 319? Right.
What's that?
So, 319 Lorraine is the church property. We're out to, advertising now about the live auction here at the council meeting on Tuesday, September 16th, at 6:30. And we're gonna be advertising, far and wide in Monmouth County and also up in North Jersey. We've got a lot of interest already just from mentioning it, in the newsletter, from realtors, from architects, from engineers, and from regular property owners. Some in town, some out of town, some out of county, some out of state. So, we're hoping to have a large number of people come in, compete on this. The mayor and council still have to figure out what the minimum bid's gonna be for the 4 lots. Particularly the larger lot, the 50 by 150 lot. And we get to live next door to John Weber, so there's a benefit there. That's prime real estate here in Bradley Beach. And his dog that barks often. Right now, the demolition contractor, is taking care of removing everything. There's a little bit of the foundation towards the front on Madison to still remove, and then they'll be grading. I was hoping that it would be done by the end of this week. I don't think they're gonna meet that timeline, so I would say by the end of next week, they should be done with that. But again, we're gonna be advertising far and wide, trying to drum up as much interest in these 4 lots and generate as much revenue for the taxpayers in Bradley.
Did you have a question?
Yes, can I just ask, at the next council meeting, if you could provide an update on Granicus and host compliance? To
Yes,
see, how that's working, and also with Park Mobile, I mean, if there are any issues and how we're doing with the revenue that's coming in for Park Mobile and, also, the degree of enforcement, all of that.
right, and that's a great point, because the numbers I gave you are just each sentence. They don't include the parking lot, so I'll have that for you next time, and then hopefully have some great numbers, after Labor Day as well.
Right, and I assume also that, Louis Lynn's, on the north end, Lenny Lou's, sorry. Everything is going well. I know there was an issue with, something that they had to shut down the food part, and then they got it back up and running. But,
Yeah, at this point, I believe they are fully in compliance
okay,
with the borough ordinances.
So maybe all 3 of those I can hit really quick, because Granicus, we just talked on this morning briefly. Granicus is the entity that monitors websites, Airbnb type websites, and says, hey, you're advertising for Airbnb, but Borough, do you know about that? That entity, Granicus, was waiting for us to give them a list of our registered landlords, landlords. We did get that to them a week or so ago, thanks to Matt bringing in a student. College intern. And they have identified a fairly substantial list of entities that are in fact renting short-term rentals that have not yet registered with the borough. So we're following up now. Code is armed with that information. What else did you ask about?
about.
Lenny Lou's.
Park Mobile, I hear nothing but really good things in terms of, no one's scared off by it. Everybody's got the app. The one thing we've heard from the court is some people are putting in the wrong license plate number, or, transposing a number, or clicking on, if they have 2 cars on the family, clicking on the wrong car. So we are throwing out some tickets where we identify that somebody put in the wrong information. But otherwise, I've heard really good things about that.
Yes, and another thing, if you want to take it, Mayor, and mention that we are gonna have a new court administrator starting, August 18th.
That is correct. We have, our court administrator, Patty McGill, is retiring. And she's very excited to be retiring and possibly moving down to Florida. And we are fortunate, we went through a fairly extensive process of identifying a number of candidates, working with the court system. Judges get involved and they actually do 90% of the decision making, but they did let me and Matt sit in on a meeting or 2. But they identified with our approval, the current court administrator in Neptune City as their #1 choice. For us, we've extended her an offer, she has accepted. So we're excited about that.
And I would say, I thought, Mayor, I think it's great. We had some really outstanding candidates who applied, who we weren't able to accept. which is a nice indication of the folks that, high level of, high caliber level of folks that want to work for Bradley Beach. So,
That's nice.
thank you very much, and I look forward to the police department serving us soon. I'm gonna- That's what today is, right?
All right, we have finished 14A, 14B, mayor and council reports. Let me start with Councilman Nowicki.
Okay, first day, the operational period, August fifth, squad responded to 15-day calls, 12 night calls for a total of 27 calls, 11 were for medical, 11 fire calls. 5 calls involved water rescues. The squad provided mutual aid to Avon, Ocean Grove, and Neptune. Squad provided a mobile overwatch at the concert for Grand Park, Ruckus, and radio bingo at the fire department Baker Hall. The squad conducted 1 drill for the new state-of-the-art automated external defibrillator, AED. The squad requested no mutual aid for this operational period. The squad fulfilled 100% of their assignments for the operational period. Total for the month of July, 49 calls. And of course, we're still looking for volunteers for the first aid squad. We offer free training for qualified individuals. You can check the borough's website for information. And the police spotter, July 18th, Park Place Avenue, Main Street, a 13-year-old male, a 38-year-old male from New York was arrested and charged with criminal mischief after multiple witnesses observed him punching the driver's side mirror of a vehicle during an argument. Patrolman Daniel Crow made their arrest. 2nd Avenue and Ocean Avenue, a 21-year-old male from Asbury Park was arrested and charged with burglary, theft, and resisting arrest. Anderson was observed entering a parked motor vehicle by Patrolman Sean Johnson, fled from the area. As Officer Johnson approached him, he was subsequently located and taken into custody a short time later and found to be in possession of items that were stolen from the parked vehicle that he had entered. Patrolman Sean Johnson and Patrolman Edwin Hernandez made the arrest. On July 23rd, Park Place Avenue and Main Street, a 62-year-old male from Neptune City was charged with possession of CBS cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia. He was also found to have an outstanding warrant for his arrest. Patrolman Daniel Crow made the arrest with the assistance of Patrolman Edwin Hernandez and Patrolman Sean Johnson. It's been a busy July. Ocean Park Avenue and Ocean Avenue, 37-year-old, on July 26th, a 37-year-old female of Ocean Grove, New Jersey, was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct, harassment, obstructing the administration of law after she verbally harassed several residents in the 100 block of Lorraine Avenue. Sergeant Kevin Gale and Patrolman Daniel Crow made the arrest. And between July 11th and August 3rd, the police department has also arrested 5 individuals for outstanding contempt of court warrants. Officers also investigated 9 motor vehicle accidents. So it's high season, and no pun intended, in Bradley Beach in July. So with that, that's my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Council President Jane DeNoble.
Thank you, Mayor. The Shade Tree will have their meeting tomorrow night. Tourism is next week, so this will be a very brief report. I did attend the Bradley Beach Board of Ed meeting on July 22nd. They're gearing up for the fall with personnel updates and hirings. They also approved walking field trips, including the visit to Borough Hall. No date has been set yet, but we look forward to their visit every year. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
You, Councilwoman Greenland.
Right, Fletcher Lake, the Fletcher Lake Commission canceled their August meeting and they will next meeting on September 11th. They will be planning, a Fletcher Lake cleanup, which will be in October. Summer rec camp has been fantastic. They're coming to a close with the last day of camp on August 15th, when they'll celebrate a final day with the camp families and the counselors that made it so spectacular. Radio bingo was held this past Saturday, thanks to the Ladies Auxiliary of the Bradley Beach Fire Department, who co-hosted the event. It was a fun event that raised money with awesome prizes and a sing-along to music with friends and neighbors. And ongoing and ahead, Mahjong Open Play runs every Friday, 1 to 3 at the Biazzi Center. Salted Soul Yoga continues through August. Check the yoga schedule on the recreation webpage for details. Recreation continues its fourth annual back to school bingo, where any school age child can come to the Bradley Beach Rec Center on August 17th from 6 to 8 p.m. and play a few games of bingo. Every child in attendance will go home a winner with a grade appropriate backpack filled with school supplies. The rec committee members purchased and donated 150 backpacks. They are working on collecting enough school supplies to fill all 150. You can still contribute through the Amazon wish list. Go to the recreation page for a direct link to support this meaningful program. The rec board's next meeting is Monday, August 11th, 6:30 p.m. at the rec center. The Arts Council met Monday, July 28th. A porch pop-up arts exhibit will be held on August 23rd, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the James Bradley, with a meditative sound bath hosted by Green Lotus Yoga and Wellness at 1 p.m. and music by Carol Lester Productions at 2 p.m. There is currently a call for all local artists with a deadline for submissions by midnight, August 11th. There is no fee to participate and all visual artwork is welcome. The Arts Council will hold its next meeting Monday, August 25th, 11 a.m. at the Piazza Center. And that's my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Weber?
All right. The problem with the 4 p.m. council meeting is that there's no parking in that lot.
No, that's,
We
yeah.
cannot keep doing this. I'm gonna say congratulations to Special Officer Stephen Scott. He was on the consent agenda, so nobody mentioned him, but he's our new special officer in town. The Bradley Beach Environmental Commission, the chair stepped down, so they are looking for a new member, and we had some folks interested when we had vacancy before, so we might go back to some of those folks. Everybody up here was at an event today at the DPW yard. The new sharing shed, we had a ribbon cutting, and it was very nice. And I also have to say, props to Council President James Noble, because when have you ever seen 4 council people all dressed the same up here? It's never happened before. This is the work of James Noble, and good for her. So back to the sharing shed. You heard me say it before. It's just a place you can bring good, useful items that you just don't want anymore. Instead of paying for those bulk stickers, because we don't know what the cost of the bulk stickers are. Bring it to the sharing shed. If you live in town, you're allowed to, and anybody can come and take stuff out. It's to reduce our cost of what we're spending on bulk. So shout out to DPW. They got some props today at this event, but especially Jerry, who helped basically build the shed on all kind of material that we had lying around. So we didn't spend a lot of money on that. There's a video went out on social media, so check that out about what's in the sharing shed right now. The couch, there's just stuff. Go check it out. All the challenges that Councilman Nowicki named for Sylvan Lake also exist for Fletcher Lake. Just wanted to make sure everybody says that. And I beg to differ. It's not just all these upstream communities. It's stuff that's going on right here in town. So if you're digging on a slope or you're doing construction, whatever, there's a good chance that if we have a downpour and it rains more than it used to, everybody should know, that's going to create sediment that's going to go off your property. That goes into the street. Guess where it goes? It goes into our lakes, and that's why we have 7 feet of sediment in our lakes, in addition to these upstream communities. So be mindful of this stuff. It just happened next door to me at the church property. There was a downpour, and there was inches of sediment and dirt on the sidewalk. I called the town. I didn't get any kind of response, but there's a layer of sediment on the street. And people are also contributing to this. If you have a landscaper and he's like, they're blow after they cut, they blow everything off, every blade of grass gets blown into the street. Guess where that washes into? It washes into the lake. It's like throwing fertilizer in the lake. It's feeding algae, not to mention all the sediment. So my suggestion, get out there with the broom, go old school, sweep it up, put it in the garbage can, keep it out of our lake. That will be super helpful going forward. And on badges, I'm sorry that Matt's not here to hear this, but I am wondering if we're doing so well on badges because we kind of kept the price relatively low. Right? We could have gone higher. We don't know we could have, but we didn't. I would love to find out if everybody's up like that every time around here. Then okay, everybody's up, and that's great. But if we're sort of up more than the rest, maybe there's something to keeping those badge prices low because then people come here. People are more cost conscious than they used to be the way inflation was. So people actually look at prices now, whereas maybe 5 years ago, they're like, yeah, whatever, Bradley Beach, we don't care what they're charging. So, gonna ask the administrator to look into that, but that's my report, Mr. Mayor, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Weber. I'll keep my presentation quick as well, brief. Earlier today, our clerk, Erica, was stuffing envelopes. And those envelopes contain everybody's upcoming tax bills. So tax bills will be coming out in a few days. We're waiting, a letter is going to accompany the bill from our tax assessor, Eric Aguiar. Eric is notifying everyone not only kind of how to read your bill, how to understand the component parts, because it's not just Bradley Beach's municipal taxes, it's county taxes, it's the school taxes. So his letter gives you an overview of how all those tax components move this year. The municipal tax element, the dollars on average, it's gonna be different for every house, but on average, municipal piece went up 2.76%. The tax rate has come down. The total tax rate was 0.918 or something, 0.915, something like that. It's dropped down to like 0.88. So the rate is down, the dollars are slightly up in aggregate, as I said, 2.76% municipal. The county, on the other hand, you'll see this soon enough, smaller percentage of our total bill, about 20% of the bill, but the county's hit is about a 7% increase. So all that averages out to be about a 4.1% increase on average for the average house in Bradley Beach, 4.1%. You'll see the impact on your own individual taxes as you get these invoices. And then August 14th, here in Borough Hall, Eric will hold a meeting. You can ask all the questions you want of him, our tax assessor. It'll be 6:30 p.m. here at Borough Hall. Once again, August 14th, Thursday. That concludes my comments. So let us move on to item 15 on the agenda, public comments or questions. Yes, please. You've waited so patiently all night.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council and members of the public. My name is Susan Mattias, and I live in Atlantic Highlands. But I'm here on behalf of Food and Water Watch to ask for your support. Food and Water Watch has brought together thousands of volunteers and more than 2 million supporters to fight for sustainable food, clean water, and a livable climate for all of us. The New Jersey legislature will be considering the Superfund Act, S 3545, A 4696, a bill that would force polluters to pay for the damage they cause to our environment. The bill has already been passed by the New Jersey State Senate Environmental Committee and the New Jersey Assembly Environmental Committee. It is similar to bills already passed by New York and Vermont. So far, we have about 50 New Jersey municipalities who have passed resolutions, and we have 40+ legislators who are also co-sponsoring this bill. But your help is needed to get this to Governor Murphy's desk to sign into law. As a coastal community, you know better than most about the effects of climate change. If the Superfund Act is passed, any municipality in need of climate change adaptation and resilience projects would be able to apply for the funds raised by the act. Sylvan Lake is a good example of that, potentially. This is a great opportunity for the borough of Bradley Beach to support a bill that could provide funding at no cost to taxpayers. Other Monmouth County municipalities who are supporting this bill are Asbury Park, Atlantic Highlands, Long Branch, Aberdeen, and Matawan, to name a few. Now more than ever, municipalities are struggling to offset the loss of federal funding for projects that would help make towns more resilient against climate change disasters. Will you please support this bill by resolution at your next council meeting? I have provided a summary document and a sample resolution for your consideration about a month and a half ago. If you don't have it, I can give you a hard copy.
Just email it to me.
It's already been emailed, but I can do it
You
again.
can email it again.
Sure.
Okay, thanks.
Many thanks in advance for your support, anticipated support. Please contact me with any questions. Thank you very much.
My only concern would be that you mentioned rather Aberdeen.
Yes.
And We don't like to do anything Aberdeen.
That's okay, they paid me here to take it.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Seeing it on your agenda at your next council meeting, how's that?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other comments or questions from the audience? Anything from anybody?
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no other questions, I will make a motion. Oh, there's no executive session, so I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
See you at National Night Out.
Good job.